Okay, guys, so this is just a time lapse now. I've sped it up to about halfway. So this was a 22-minute addition to the previous drawing. And now I'm just going in and basically adding all those extra details I was adding to the right eye. And you can see I'm going from one eye to the other and then pushing the shadows where I see fit, adding some more eye detail. So, this this would have been kind of boring in real time because I'm just kind of enhancing what was already there. So again, anything that looks flashy or anything that looks advanced is just really a lot more detail added to the basic structure, which I've already shown you guys. So as long as you have that basic structure to build upon, then you can just really go in there and start adding detail and just kind of having a lot of fun with it. So coming in and erasing, pushing and pulling the darks is really what these finishing touches is all about. Of course, looking at reference, I did pull up some reference here, and I'm not drawing anyone in particular. I haven't been the whole time, but I'm looking at some reference on faces and just seeing how, certain forms interact with one another. You can see I'm really kind of pushing at that smile, on the sides of the lips. Again, reference is going to be key to finishing up a drawing and adding all those great little details here and there. You guys will soon see I'm going to start to add a lot more detail, extra stuff like hair and piercings and things like that. I was inspired by the piercing little comment I made in the previous videos. And so again, this is how drawings can continually inspire themselves, right, within the drawing. So I'm adding a little bit more to the top of the head because I will eventually be adding some hair, as you'll see. But continuing to, this is getting more into like head drawing. Here I'm adding a design to the top of the head, which is interesting. It's based off the trapezoid. Look inside of that keystone. This is where certain wrinkles form. No doubt we've all frowned, right? Those frown lines go right in that keystone. So the keystone, there's a lot of room for adding wrinkles or no wrinkles. It really depends on what kind of character you're drawing. I was just really kind of pushing at, how far I could go with that keystone. You can see I'm adding a nose ring. Again, it's just a nice little shape I can add in between the nose and the mouth. Pushing at some of the wrinkles on the lips. And I will add a piercing to the lip. Why not, right? You can notice that when I go in with red, when you mix red with graphite, you get a really cool kind of depth happening. It's not so much a 3D effect. If you add blue, you can get that kind of 3D effect. But again, the reason I like to use red with black is when they mix, they go a bit deeper. It makes it feel like it has more depth than it might already have. Added some freckles, why not? Anything you have large open spaces like the cheeks and the jaw. You see how I'm adding shadow to the jaw, freckles on the cheekbones. Just really, you can go to town on adding all interesting things to the face. There goes the lip ring. Now I'm starting to add hair. And so again, that's for a future course on head drawing, adding the hair. But, you know, it's just another element. A lot of times I personally like to draw my characters bald first, especially in the digital landscape. And then I add hair later on, because hair can completely change the vibe of the character. And it's fun to kind of swap hair out, you know, so it's a bit harder to do when you're drawing it because it's kind of in the drawing, right? But in the digital landscape, you can swap hair out. And so that's why I like to draw my characters bald, which I kind of started this character with not really much hair in mind at all. But now I'm adding hair. Why not? So I'm going to do like the half shaved kind of thing. You can see here that I started to do hair on the right, and then I'm just going to shave it off. So again, you can see I'm just going back repeatedly to all the areas that need some special attention. There really is no trick here other than just doing it. You know, looking at reference and kind of being inspired by that reference, or just straight up copying that reference and then indicating some of that inspiration on your drawing. You can see here I'm literally drawing a shaved head with just little tiny spikes of hair. The hair is kind of flowing out from one point off to the left. We didn't talk too much about ears. Again, you know, when you're drawing the face from the front, the ear is just going to be kind of an abstract series of shapes. As I'd mentioned before, ears are pretty complicated. They deserve their own course, just ears. Continuing down with, you know, that lip and again, the nose. Again, I'm just dancing around the whole thing, as you guys can see. I encourage you guys to just, you know, kind of play, you know, look at your drawing like a playground. You're kind of going to different areas and you're playing in the sandbox here, and then you're going over there and you're playing with all these other toys. And, you know, the toys could be smudging, it could be different colors. The structure of the face is the most important part of all of this. And that is what you guys learned in the previous videos, is how to kind of block it all out. Here, it's just, I'm just noodling. This is a legitimate term in drawing called noodling. And I'm just noodling the heck out of this thing, just going to different areas, adding some darks. I'm erasing a lot. I'm adding things back in. I'm playing with her expression. When you see the final drawing, you'll notice how much kind of noodling went on in all of this. This doesn't come out, you know, easily or quickly by any means. You know, this is just a lot of work. You know, when you see a nice finished drawing, you're like, wow, that's incredible. How, you know, how do I even approach doing that? Well, you got to sit with it for a long time, for sure, and make many, many mistakes, or as Bob Ross says, just happy accidents. You know, that's how you learn. You learn from the doing. I'm adding a bit of a neck here just to give her a sense of, you know, that the head is not floating. And, you know, just trying to get a nice kind of flow between the hair and then the neck, and just kind of containing it within the piece of paper. You can see I've erased that left eye almost entirely, and I'm kind of doing it again, right? If something doesn't feel right, just don't be afraid to erase. Don't get so attached to it, because you can only make it better. And that comes with practice. You know, you draw something, you erase out of it, you draw over it, you erase that, you draw over it. And so it's, you know, it's all a process. Okay, so there's the drawing as you guys last saw it on the left. And then on the right was probably about another hour and a half worth of work. So you guys might be noticing a lot of changes, but I want you guys to try something. I want you guys to squint right now and look at both drawings. So when you're squinting, you're noticing that the structure has not changed at all. And that is the most important thing. That is what's going to give your faces a solid look, right? Everything else is just detail. It's the way I was hatching, it was the way I was smudging, and I was erasing out quite a bit. So hopefully you guys have gotten enough from this video to, create something that could end up looking like the face on the right. But it's okay if it looks like the one on the left for a while. Don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to others. Just compare yourself to your last drawing. That's all you can do. That's the best way to grow. Once you get good at the structure, this stuff is going to come a lot easier. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in future courses.